Today we will be doing a reading. The reading is called The Ones Who Are Liars and the Ones Who Are Deceivers. I am the student teacher of the master teacher, Panabab Yanun. His Excellency, Dr. Malachi Z.K. York. He is innocent and he will be free. Let me begin. My beloved people, why do you lie and deceive our race? Pretending I, the Master Yanun, sent you forth to teach or protect our nation and our tribe of people. Pretending you follow what I sent down to lay out for you, the salvation of our people. Pretending to be devoted and loyal to me, what has been revealed as the way, when you really only seek fortune and fame. Pretending to be a follower, a good student, when in actual fact, all you want to be a leader with followers for your own sexual desires and lust for health. You are the ones who are liars and the ones who are deceivers. I never sent you forth to pretend to be myself or like myself. You can never be me. Only pretend. You pretenders who have wandered away from myself to set up and form your own followers, whom you lie and deceive, do not block my effects and labors over the many years to save our people from religious ignorance. Do not excuse yourselves by claiming you know what I wanted done and none others say you really understand my plan for our people, nation, tribe, and family, Isar. You are in deeds, actions, and uneducated, uninformed, and the illiterate about all I incarnated on earth to teach. I only began to teach when I came to teach from the year 2000 AD, and that is only Wu-Sabat, which does not include the Bible, the Quran, the holy tablets, which all expired with the year 2000 AD. 6000 AC, the beginning of the next 24,000 year cycle, the here on earth after the fall of the Adamites, dominion of 6,000 years for 4,000 BC. Furthermore, do not interpret what I teach with your own lies and deceptions. Plain and clearly, you're gibberish, thereby acting an unrepentant fool and hypocrisy, as well as plagiarizing what I taught by adding your misinformation. Don't you realize that will clearly make you a black devil? I, Panabab Yanan, the Master Yanun, have conveyed Wu-Nuwap to the Saduk Nuwapu, true Nuwapians, along with Nuwapui Nuwapik, articulating its actual facts, its words, its verses, with sound right reasoning. Can you do that? Can any before me in the West do that? None has, because none could do such. Sayem Shakalat, divine works, besides the true, Nazar or warner, reminder, renewer, the only true savior for this day and time, myself. No mischief can result from its pages, written by my own Yadad hand over the years 2003 AD up to this very day. Some of the doubters will claim I did not write such doctrines, follow them in the expired old schools. Yet my beloved devoted wife, Nababtet, keeps the handwritten pages, thousands of them, to show and prove these are by my own hand, while in prison in an unlit cell, alone with no help, only what was inspired to me. Let the doubters doubt, as well as the liars lie. They only deceive those who tabul, seek deception. In Nuwapu, I convey to the Nuwapians illustrations of all sorts. Perhence, you will remember how I taught when I was with you in the outside world, what I proclaimed from the beginning. 1970 AD, I came giving you what you want until you can learn to what I came to give. So I send a message forth to the true in heart, who have been led astray by liars and deceivers, in hopes that through it most of you will find your way back amongst us. Know this actual fact: I, Panabab Yanun, never sent anyone forth to represent myself, be they my blood relatives, my friends, my students, with any doctrine that in any way is not exact words you read from 2003 AD up to this day. Don't be deceived by the liars, the black devils, many of whom I trusted and betrayed myself, and they betrayed myself. Some to hand me over to the white and red devils in exchange for the fortune and fame. What fools those black devils be! Don't they see the power with me cannot be stopped while I live, and once I pass with this doctrine, Wu-Sabat is not made up on my own mind. It is not that clear by what it predicts and comes true. How could one physical man do the works I have done to date without help from extraterrestrials, aliens, who had and have you in mind to wake the sleeping of you and prepare you for the changes to come here on the planet Earth from 2000 to 2060 AD, as they did from 1970 to 2000 AD, the 1/2 hour to the full hour, from 30 years to 60 years. When the evil forces want to mislead a race of people, a particular people such as our own, confused and misguided, they deviously get control of one of us who has much of their DNA, the man blood, by mixing, and he is brilliant but illiterate person from amongst our own race, or claiming to be, and he then bamboozles our unknowing with teachings that can't be confirmed, proven, no more than fictional teachings. Our race will follow them, such as the teachings of the Bible and the Quran of the white race and their offsprings, the red race of the Europeans and Arabs, and their minions, hybrids, or Negroes used by preachers, teachers, ministers to teach their religions and doctrines that can't be confirmed. Lies and deceptions of the ones who are liars and the ones who are deceivers. Many believe their own lies taught to them by way of evil forces in human form. Many of our race has been deceived by the doctrine of the white race of Adamites, from Noah to Abraham, to Ishmael, to Isaac, to Jacob, to Isa, to Moses, to Aaron, to David and Solomon, to Jesus, John the Baptist, to Muhammad, to Abu Bakr. The doctrine of Mesopotamia and the extraterrestrial aliens came down to earth and made the first Adamite named Adapa and his consort Eve named Titi. This has been uncovered as thousands of stone tablets of Samaria were translated and exposed the true stories from where the Bible and Quran was plagiarized, changed, altered, mistranslated by those called Hebrews, to hide their true story in the past 6,000 years of wickedness, evil, and chaos from the very beginning. Most of the Jews today have no idea or clue that who they really are, nor what their gods, Yahweh, Elohim, really are, or where they're from. Most Christians today have no idea or clue what they really follow, nor what their Lord God really is or where from. Most of the Muslims today have no idea or clue what they really worship, nor what their Allah, Rab, really are or is from. And from these you have many subsection groups, denominations, who add on, change, update the teachings with their own confusion, deceptions. How long will you follow behind the doctrine of foolishness? Doctrines that you can prove or confirm only make great claims with no support. And from these you have many subsection groups, denominations, who add on, change, update the teachings with their own confusion, deceptions. How long will you follow behind the doctrine of foolishness? Doctrines that you can't prove or confirm only make great claims with no support. From Europeans' own doctrines, be they Mosesism, Jesusism, Mohammedism, Jewism, Christianism, Islamism. And you share form, create stories of these teachings, fictional legends, fairy tales, From them the Bible and Quran of Europeans and Arabs, both of the same bloodline, you present to our people. And from these you have subgroups with their own doctrines. All of the above are based on the Bible of Europeans and the Quran of Arabs. None of them were us, blacks. How long will you live by their lies and deceptions? They have not proved in 4,000 years. They make claim that a man they call Musa, received 5 books called the Torah of laws, who was left to die on Mount Nebo. What they fail to prove is, did this man ever even exist? Not one trace of evidence has been found to date to prove that he and his stories are actual fact. They have not found anything to prove his story or himself is real, only what you read in their Bible. No other records worldwide to prove their stories are real. Just another fictional history like so many others outside the Bible created in their minds of the white race. And the Bible calls fair, ruddy, pinkish, reddish, spotted, flush Adamites or Edomites, no more than their own made-up stories about them, histories. Or the above groups of mostly blacks listed from 1 through 7 based their beliefs on a man called Yeshua, Jesus, Isa, who they claim was born of a virgin birth by way of a woman named Maryam, and their God named El, who lived up in heaven, and the Bible of the Europeans and their offsprings who died on the cross. What they also failed to prove is, did this woman and her son really exist? Not one trace of evidence has been uncovered or found to date that can show and prove that they and their stories are actual fact. They have not found anything to prove their stories or the mother of her son is real, only what you read in their Bible. No other records worldwide to prove that their stories are real, just another fictional history. Like so many others outside their Bible, created in the minds of the white race of people, no more than their own made-up stories about themselves, his story. Now, next, an Arab-born man named Muhammad, an Arab or red race. He did exist, was born in Arabia, August 20th, 570 AD, and died of food poisoning in Arabia, June 8th, 632 AD. He was only another follower of the person mentioned in the Bible. He called Adam, was the name he called Noah, Nuh, Abraham, Ibrahim, Ishmael, Ismael, Ishaq, Jacob, Yaqub, Isa, Isu, Jesus, Isa, John the Baptist, Yahweh. The same persons, even Moses, Musa, David, Dawood, Solomon, even Enoch, Idris. So all he did was believe in the same old stories of the Bible and wrote the book from the Bible and called it the Quran. No more, no less. None of what this Quran says has been proven to date. It's the same doctrine as the Bible. None of what has been and is being taught to our race from the Bible or Quran have been confirmed as actual facts or events that really took place. Only stories made up, written and passed on over time, depending on mistranslations and interpretations by them, about them, which was for them, not our race of Africans. And now our race spread the teachings, these fictions as real. And they all believe in a Messiah coming to save them. They each say he is coming. It's been over 1,000 years. They still claim he is coming soon. Each generation, he will be here now. It does not happen. Still they preach he is coming. Some say, others say for the first time. Yet and still he has not been proven to have ever existed, just created in their Bible and Quran. They use our own to preach and teach their lies and deceptions by faith, beliefs, religions of white and red race, never intended for others. Africans, black Africa. Aborigines, brown, Australia. Indians, brown, India. Asians, yellow, Asia. The Bible and Quran was only for and about Europeans, white, Europe, Arabs, red, Arabia. They use our own to beguile our people. They glamorize their hereafter, paradise, heaven, if you follow their religious misleadings. Yet it seems, surprisingly, with these lies and illusionary doctrine, our race of Christian and Muslims are completely content as mental and physical slaves of others. They are leading our race headlong into our burning fire as they, by faith and beliefs, blindly march into it unaware. I, Panabab Yanun, the Master Yanun, have done my best to caution my people. Panabab, Panawapu, Shalil, Wu-Nuwap, the Nuwapians of Nuwapu. Having faith in beliefs without facts by these counterfeit teachings and teachers. Now I say of the pretenders, I admonish that such people are in actual fact wolves in sheep's clothing, pretending to be Nuwapians, saying Nuwapians on other titles, or just saying I, with Panabab Yanun, I accept what he taught. Such liars they are. They cover up what I really teach and taught, that which is normally quiet, obvious, with trick words, old tapes and books that is outdated. Now that I can teach what I really came to teach, Wu-Nuwap. Furthermore, the pretenders announce their tongues what is not truly within their hearts. Be very cautious of the impostors. They will be recognized by the fruits of their labors. They will be exposed because what I teach is now on paper, word by word, verse by verse. You can only teach it as it is presented. If you try to teach it or explain from their own minds, they will only get lost along the way when asked questions by my devoted students, who keeps my words by the letter. The Bible is no more than big business for the preachers. The Quran is no more than big business for the preachers. That is all their religions are, business. And they use fear to promote this business. If you don't live these books, Bible and Quran, buy them. Then they teach you to buy more books about them, or you will be going to hell's fire once you're dead. Fear God. The holidays are big business. Rituals, birth, marriage, funerals, big business. All based on ignorance. For if you ask exactly where is hell's fire, they point downward. There is no hell beneath you. That is a lie. If you ask them where is paradise, garden, heaven, they will point upward. There is no heavenly garden above you. That is a lie. If you ask what happened at birth, they do know. Why? Because there is no fiction to birth. You see a baby born, yet when it comes to death, they don't have a real answer. They don't know. Ask, do you believe in extraterrestrials? They will say no, yet they believe God came down from outer space and Jesus said, I come from above. And the Quran says Jesus was taken up to Allah and Muhammad was flown up to Allah. So they do believe in extraterrestrials, yet don't even realize it. Ask them, do they believe in reincarnation? They will say no. Yet they teach Moses died, yet came back with Elijah before Jesus' disciples in the transfiguration. And they believe Jesus gave up the ghost spirit while on the cross and died, yet he will be coming back. So they do believe in reincarnation, yet don't even realize it. They have all the Jewish Christians and Muslim mystics with mystical experiences, many who claim to speak with the dead. Yet they never speak to any of the holy people or angels. None from Adam to Muhammad. Why only ghosts of certain people? Never the angels or Jesus himself or Muhammad. Yet they teach them to call on Holy Ghosts, Holy Spirits, speak to angels, call on Jesus the Christ. Yet they never get an answer or help. They live and die as all others, nothing special. They get sick, have disease like all others. They have accidents, die, or are wounded in wars like all others. Nothing unique about them by their beliefs. The children of the Bible and Quran fight and kill each other. Holy places destroyed. and no divine intervention by any protecting deity. How long will my people believe in fictional belief, having faith without fact? Over history, they are the ones who commit all kinds of executions, murders. They swindled, committed atrocities. My own people are not cognizant of these facts, that these religions and people are the most degenerate of doers of evil and wicked deeds to the other and themselves. Now they are pretenders for certain. And you who pretend to be with me, knowing you're not, you are only liars and deceivers, seeking your own gain. These characteristics are recognized by true Nuwapians, who can identify you by your actions and words. Your conduct and demeanor are a dead giveaway as to what type of person you really are and what you really seek, your own fame. You claim that I, Pandabab Yanan, the Master Yanun, was your master teacher, and that you trust in what I teach, and that you accept myself as a role model. Surprisingly enough, you actually do not trust myself. You only use what I teach for your own ego. In fact, you only trusted in the evil ones, the lust and luster they offer. You are totally committed to deception. To us of Wu-Sabat, it is preferable to have trustworthy people who practice Wu-Sabat, our own doctrine, rather than to try and mix old doctrines of Bible and Quran to gain followings as you do, holding unto that which has expired. You also maintain that you trusted in the actual facts, the way, the secrets of the Anun, and other things that I presented to you in spite of such declaration. You exalted my teachings with your own interpretations of them, and even try to eliminate parts you don't wish to use to support your own gain. The most outrageous atrocity of all, your fabrications of the culture and way of life of us and the United Nuwapian Nation of Yamassu natives. You and your alterations and deceptions, which you ascribe to myself, that I am the one who appointed, selected, chosen, delegated, designated, nominated, assigned, authorized. You are a liar, and I did not make you any such position. The Omniverse appointed me when the time was right for my incarnation, June 26, 1945, AD. 1 second past 12 midnight on Tuesday, so I was named Kobina Tuesday. And given many attributes over the years to represent each school I was sent to convey. Who sent you, and what do you have that I have not already said, if you are indeed my successor? Stop the lies. How many people have you preached to over the years that our old expired doctrine, you were right, and now you be man or woman enough to say you were wrong. So you pretend we are still in the old, outdated schools. This is your pride being tested, or your ego won't let you say, he gave me answers to what I asked, and all I asked was what I believed. As a Bible and Quranic believer, I don't know how to return to those I preached at and say, this is what he really came to teach us. Put your pride aside. It is best for you if only you know what is best for you. Everything I told you would come to pass has happened. I also told you back in Brooklyn that I had a vision for this day and time. I put the Islamic world in a book I did on Revelations. I told you and showed you. The men in the news. I told you the Islamic world is being taken over by demons in human form. Did I not? I told you it is the time for us to move out of Islamic Moorish or otherwise. Some of you can't let go. That is your choice. Yet if we were still Ansar Allah community dressed as we both males and females dress, what would begin happening these days if we lived that life as Ansars? I also told you over and over that I am not a holy man. Don't live by those laws. I'm not a holy person. I'm a master teacher. Not grown out of religion of the Bible and Quran. I'm an extraterrestrial. I made that clear. I don't claim to be, as well as man from planet Risk. I saved you from yourselves. I saved you from the Caucasoid race. I became the fall guy, the offering for your perverted sexual ways, and wicked hearts. All one has to do is look at you, all out there, and what you are doing, how you are living your lives today, and it's plain to see you were always just a Negro pretending to be righteous. You all slept around from mate to mate. You all lied. You all cheated. You all stole, just as you all are doing right now. I did not make you what I met you as, or watched you grow into. That was already in your genes from your 29 relatives. You only needed me to put the blame on, so you offered me up, a willing sacrifice I am. All anyone has to do is look and see what you are doing for our people, and what I am doing for our people, to see who is really evil. You tried to pretend you were abused sexually or mentally, yet there was no gates keeping you in, whether it was Brooklyn, upstate, or Georgia. You lived the life you wanted, and you wanted to stay. You tried and put your lust upon me. You were also lustful in your hearts, and now look at you, still lustful. It was you, not me, who did the sexual acts, and look how fast you run from mate to mate, now in the world, with those who pretend was unclean heathens, even whites. Yet now you have all kinds of sex with them. Who do you think you're fooling? The world sees you, and the world sees me, and what we are doing for these days for our people. You're back where you started, for when I met you, or you came to me. I taught you all you use today to get over in the world. Are you thankful? No. You still slander and gossip on me when you know the truth about yourself, about your true self. The truth will soon be revealed. You will be exposed, just as you tried to do to me, with books, slander, gossip, helping Euro-Americans in hopes that I would die in prison or go away forever, so your lies would not be exposed, and the world would know who you really are, the sick, pedophiles, molesters, perverts. How can you live a lie as if it's the truth, just to get while you know? I don't hate you. I only feel sorry for you, because I know you, what you did, and can only pretend you did the right thing for others, while it was really for you. You protected yourself, fearing the truth you would be exposed for all to see. So you all plotted and planned on me, while you knew what Jake, Yaqub, was a child molester, pedophile, put out because he used to rape little boys in Brooklyn. You knew this yet, and still you worked with him to hurt me and others. And he and you worked with Europeans to hurt not just me, the people on the land. Let them take the land and use sex as an excuse when you know better. Think, if I decide to write a book about the going-ons from Brooklyn of 1970 on up to the land, and I tell the truth, would you like that made public? I know you will say I don't care, when you and I know you really do care. Would you like your mother and father exposed for what they used to do? I know you don't, and unlike you, no white person can make me embarrass our race. That would make me a slanderer and a gossiper. Are you still righteous Muslim? Were you ever? Many of you just wanted an excuse to return the world of the America and used what you learned from me to get over. This I know, and you know that this is true. This you should know. Thanks to you, we as Nuwapians are greater than before, worldwide, and our doctrine perfected, and we will rebuild Nuwapia. You can't stop Pops. Look at us now. Visit our websites. We are on the move like never before. Put your pride aside and return home to your own as Nuwapians of Wunuwap before it's too late. For these are the days of truth. As you see, all I taught you is before your eyes right now, that you know is true. I am the real deal. You wanted me to be your religious savior. I am not that. I never was that. I told you that. I am the savior, all right. The warner, all right. The healer, all right. The reminder, all right. The one who guides, all right. The center, all right. The reformer, all right. And move and more. Yet not in your religious sense, not at all. I am always and have been the Supreme Being. None knows what I know, nor a fraction of what I know. I am a master teacher, Panabab Yanun, sent to teach you what none before me could teach, how I teach. All I want to do is set the whole record straight. Thanks to you all, eyes are now beholding me. Ready or not, here I come. You who are frauds, who pretend to be real, you insist on living a life of infidelity and practice promiscuity, while we Nuwapians of Wu-Sabat persist in guiding our race of people to a life of fidelity and to live for, of, and by each other. We plan for the future while you live day by day. You instigate a life in the world of the white race or Arabs who live only for, of, and by each other. They are murderers and live of debauchery. Yet we Nuwapians of Wu-Sabat reiterate the necessity to live a life of compassion and tranquility. The legacy you live for your children is inadequate and ignorance, living in the image of the white man and or red race. Moreover, you clutch back into the world of being niggas, the doctrine of other people's ancestors completely irrelevant of your own race. When you pretend to be me, your grandiose dreams were and are overindulgence, seeking only yourselves, sexual gratification, sensuality, and debauchery. You are the promiscuous and criminals. For you, the act, ultimate purpose in this life is lust and luster. With that in mind, you will only regress speedily while you watch us Nuwapians move forward with progress, as you become an addition to the graves for thoughts, pockets of poverty, vast fields of drugs, drunkenness, and disease. The burdens to bear for what you attempted to do to your own race of people in favor for the white race. Did you ever stop and think, if the white man had me in custody, he had what he called the problem. I was not on the land. Why did they still attack the women and children on the land? They already knew I was no longer the owner of the land, so why? To take the land in hopes to kill some black children and mothers. That was their plan, who helped them with that plan. And now, what do you have to show for it? After Jake Yaqub used you all, both mentally and sexually, he moved on back into his world and sent each of you on your way with nothing for how you helped him against me. He never cared about you. It was all personal. You were used by him, by the whites, him, for me, and them to take the land owned by blacks. What do you have now for your services to help destroy the lives of so many? Not a thing except shame. Let the cursed seed of Adamites shut up, for they were behind the lies and deceptions of your talking tongues. Furthermore, let those who conform to their designs be regretful for being deceived by the white race of devils by their treachery. For in the end, we emerge as the best of people, while he was only a swift deceiver and only transformed you people into manipulators for their own use. I forgive you. Can you forgive yourself? The white race of devils owns the entire right to deception and double dealing. They are the craftiest of the humanoids. Such atrocities are not characteristics of the black race, a noble, honorable people by our own natural nature. Rather, such activities are the delusions and the diabolical and damned devil themselves. From day one, 6,000 years ago, the seed of Adam, with their unnatural grafted nature, manufactured lies, then committed criminal activities and stirred rebellions against their own creatures and makers. There was never a time in their history of 6,000 years where evil was substituted for good and hatred accepted as love, pillage as virtue, except the laws of the Bible and Quran. If you stay in their world and immerse in the gloom of ignorance and infidelity, will you ever find the true way of your own way of life? Wu-Sabat. Woe unto you who accepted deception by rejecting your own precepts. As African people and race, by waging war against Wu-Sabat and Panamanian myself, you would have to be such mean evildoers who cannot leave any evil undone, and their wicked deeds are loathsome. Is that really you? Stop and think about that. Specters descend and enter every liar and deceiver. They make them impersonators and lie. Subsequently, these walking specters brought vileness into the lives of those who welcome them. Are you one of them possessed? Before you say no, think of how you were used by evil forces to hurt so many other than myself. How you were used to shut down the first all-black-owned amusement park at home, Tamaray. Think back on the good times, all those who came there for spiritual upliftment, family fun, music, and doctrine. Think back, not about yourself, yet all others who visit our own holy land. Then think, I was used by evil forces against my own race and people. This I, Panamanian, will assure you, it will rise again, bigger and better, and you are still welcome to return home as the Wapians of Wu-Sabat. We are family, tribe, nation, and you by natural nature are and always will be a part of us. If you are under the spell of religion, of the Bible, and or the Quran, all you have to do is look at their world today as it self-destructs, fighting and killing each other over beliefs. And most don't even know, because of faith, not investigation, that in 1845 to 1847, thousands of stone tablets were found in Mesopotamia in cuneiform script, translated and exposed the true stories now found in the Bible and Quran. Yet they make it clear that the Bible and Quran does not tell the real stories or give the true names of the people they mention, such as these. Adam was Adapa, Cain was Kaa'im, Eve was Titi, Abel was Abael. Both had twin sisters, Cain twin of one, or Labuda, and Abael's twin was Aklimia. Seth was Sati, Enos was Enshi, Enoch was Enkimi, Methuselah was Methuselah, Noah was Zeudra, Upnefishtim, Terah was Terhu, and Abraham was Ibrahim. All their wives are listed and the stories of them, not the same as the now-and-day Bible and Quran. Also, many other scrolls were found in 1945 through 1947, called the Gnostic Gospels and the Qumran Scrolls, or Dead Sea Scrolls, which includes many newly uncovered scrolls, such as the Book of Enoch, the Book of Jubilee, and many others which tell stories of angels being aliens who came to earth, raped Enoch's daughters, who were cannibals, wicked and evil, the offsprings that became Adamites, generations up to today. The Gnostic Gospel tell the story of Jesus and his wife, Mary of Magdalene, and the children, how Judas did not betray Jesus, and so much more. That is not the same in the books you read today, the Old Testament, the New Testament, the Quranic Testament, and the Book of Mormons. You have been lied to and now refuse to investigate because of blind belief and faith. Also, they keep from you the fact that Christian sections was founded in Syria, Antioch. Acts chapter 11, verse 26. And they keep from you a book recorded in Turkey that tells you how Jesus was not crucified, that he shapeshifted into the form of a gardener and another took his place on the cross. This book is kept from you in the book of Barnabas. All you have to do is research. Acts chapter 11, verse 26. And when he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch. And it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves with the church and taught much people. And the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch. King James Version. Why are these more books in the Catholic version of the Bible than your King James versions? Why were some chapters left out of the Quranic yet mentioned in their Al-Hadith by Muhammad's own wife, Aisha, as had been lost or destroyed by a donkey eating them? These are actual facts you can look up to prove for yourself. Where are the lost pages of these special persons called Saif pages? These are mentioned yet lost. Sahuf of Adam equals 10. Sahuf of Seth equals 50. Sahuf of Enoch equals 30. Sahuf of Abraham equals 20. Where are they? What did they contain? Not Abraham's is mentioned in Quran chapter 18 verse 19, and not Moses is also mentioned, and as Sahuf, not Lawuh stone. So where is Moses' Sahuf? And how many was there? Because it's not the 5 books of Moses, which the Bible says was given on stone tablets, not pages or leaves. They don't have a clue. They live by faith, not facts, and have you as a believer living by beliefs, not confirmations. As I sent to show you the way, teach you to investigate. Did I not say don't believe me? Check it out. Have not all I taught you over the years come true? All you have to do is watch the History Channel. They only pretend today that I taught as far back as 1970 AD. Maybe now, if the white race says it to you, you will accept what I taught you years ago. Just maybe. How long would you remain under the spell of Leviathan, of Kingu, the hypnotic spell of self and kind, rejection and white race, red race acceptance? How long will you remain a mental and physical slave to others and their belief systems? Remember, everything they teach you from the Bible and Quran was started with the first 5 books of Moses, the Torah, not before. This is the basis of Judaism, Christianism, Islamism, and any and all subgroups created from these 3 sections. And that was only 4,000 years ago, of 2000 BC. That is all because their race did not exist before 4000 BC, by their own Sajal records. That is only 6,000 years ago, no longer. The Adamite race was made by making of Adam, Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 through 27. According to the Jews, the exact year, 3761 BC. That is their own date of Adam's creation. So Jews, Christians, and Muslims all agree on Adam being the very first man in their books. Yet facts have now proven that humans lived in Africa millions of years ago. The Bible even goes as far as to list each person from Adam, called the Son of God, to Joseph, father of Jesus. Luke chapter 3, verse 23 through 38. Name by name in Genesis chapter 5, verse 1 through 32, gives you some of these ages at death. So they can't change that now. Their bones are uncovered to show and prove Africans in Africa existed for millions of years before the Adamite race of people. And the name they give in Hebrew and Arabic for their very first man on earth is Adam. The word means ruddy, reddish, flush, rosy, fair, spotted. That is what their Bible, Hebrew, and Chaldees dictionary called Strong's number 119, 132. Don't believe me, check it out. This is the pale race, the fair-skinned race, the white race, Caucasoids, Europeans, only 6,000 years old. Not the dark race, dark-skinned hue, the black race, Negroids, Africans. Nor is that the Aborigines, Indians, Asians, who all have found bones that predate 6,000 years, and who now know they were originally from Africa. All lived in peace with respect of each other before white race was made, who, as their own Bible says, Genesis chapter 4, verse 8, were killers. Genesis chapter 3, verse 15, were haters, with enmity taught to them by their own makers. Their own Bible says this about the Adamite race, who were made 6,000 years ago, then raped by their own God's sons. Genesis chapter 6, verse 1 through 5. And the results of their very unnatural nature is pointed out in Genesis chapter 6, verse 5. And God saw the wickedness of man, Adamites, was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. There it is, the nature of the ruddy race, the fair-skinned people, made only 6,000 years ago, their beginning. And what did their own God Jesus say to us about them and their beginning? John chapter 8, verse 44. You are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He, the devil, was a murderer, killer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. Now, who was Jesus speaking to at the time, 2,000 years ago? His own race of people, Adamites, that is who. Don't believe me, check it out for yourself. Jesus knew he was of the race of the children of the devil. Their God was the devil, as you read in Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 17, Leviticus chapter 17, verse 7. The Jews, Israelites, Hebrews made offerings to devils right in the Bible. They even offered their own children, their own God, to be eaten. Psalms chapter 106, verse 37 to 38. I, Panababianun, am not calling the white race Adamites devils. Their own Bible says this. Their own God with us. Jesus, the Christ, Isa, al-Masih, says this of his own race that would be from back to Adam, Luke chapter 3, verse 23 to 38, name by name. And this will include the Arabs and their Quran taken from the Bible, Quran chapter 2, verse 130 through 136. Quran chapter 3, verse 33. The same bloodline, Adamites. The worst thing the white race ever did in the past years, or from 1600s plus 400 years to equal 2000 AD. That is the West African slave trade from Ghana, my birthplace, east of America of the West. Then in 2002 AD, to arrest me and lock me down with only pen and paper was their worst move to date. For all I had was time on my hands to expose them for who and what they really are, from their DNA to their negative blood types, so to their disease of leprosy and being the children of the devil of the Bible and Quran. Their own history, his story, not our story. Jesus, their God, with them said to you, will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. Well, Wu-Sabat is that truth. If you accept it, study it, live it, speak it, you will be free forevermore. Break the spell of ignorance and the hypnotic spell of amnesia of who you really are, not what you accept or believe you are. The original people, children of the God, deities, supreme beings. The first world people, the Melanite children, the Pataites. You must include these: Wu-Sabat, Nuwapik, and Nuwapu. Using your Nuwapui or Nanat Nuwapic names, setting up your land, Nuwapia, living your culture, Wu-Sabat, then and only then will you be Chafush, free, and truly free from Adamites and their spell cast upon you. Know that the separate lands of Africa and America was once one land before the continental drift and their separation, and you dwelled there in the green zone, or Nupu, and beyond Arabia begun the red zone, or Zupu. where you did not dwell and was not even allowed to visit. For beasts and humans dwelled there in Zupu, carnivores, cannibalistic aliens, and was kept separate by a great wall of energy from the Gulf into the Arabian Sea, upward to south of Turkey, across the Mediterranean Sea, out from between Spain, upward across the North Atlantic Ocean, into Hudson, straight over Hudson Bay, westward over the Beaufort Sea, downward to the North Pacific Ocean, downward towards the South Pacific Ocean. To the east, from Iran to China, was the red zone, or Zupu. From Iraq, Syria, Jordan, Arabia, Africa, Canada, America, Mexico, South America, was the green zone, or Nupu, the zone of only herbivores, animals, and humans. Both sides had dinosaurs. In the red zone, carnivorous dinosaurs. In the green zone, herbivores, dinosaurs. Africans, herbivores. Indians, herbivores. Aborigines, omnivores. Asians, omnivores. Arabs, carnivores. Caucasians, carnivores. The force field, the Great Wall shield, was broken, and the carnivores invaded from Zupu into Nupu, killing and eating. So the dinosaurs had to be wiped out, and the aliens departed Earth for a while, and Earth was quarantined for 6,000 years, cycles of 24,000 years. This was done by sending a 600-mile meteorite to crash down in the Yucatan Sea. Each group of extraterrestrials protected their own creation of humanoids. In the green zone, Natharu overseers informed the Sands people to go beneath the surface into caves in South Africa to be saved, and it was so. The same was done by the Nordic, by their creators, in the north of the red zone, and it was so. The humanoids of the green zone had positive blood types, and the humanoids on the red zone had negative blood types, and was never to mix. This also was violated by the ape-man, Cro-Magnon, who had Rh negative blood type. As they came down out of the caves of Europe into the green zone, raped and mixed with those of positive blood types, as you see today. This is right knowledge, right wisdom, and right understanding, which is the right overstanding, giving you sound right reasoning. This is Wu-Sabat. These teachings were spoken of by all those before myself in the West, eastward from Africa. Each leader before myself told you to accept me with whole new teachings. Your savior as Africans can't save you with other teachings, such as the Bible and Quran teachings of Caucasoids and Arabs, not Africans. Only your own teachings can save you. Unlike other teachings, you're not European, you're not Arab, you're not Middle Eastern, you're African, of Africa. You can only be saved by your own Savior, an African with your own teachings, Wu-Sabat. Your own salvation is with myself. Don't reject me and what I have been given to give for your redemption. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more backwards thinking. Time for thinking ahead. Not the past teachings of Bible and Quran, that old-time religion. It's now time for bringing about the new forward thinking, Wu-Sabat, as Nuwapians, singing a new song, Nuwapic, a name that none knows the meaning of. Save myself. Truth is truth, facts are facts. And that is the reading. I would just like to say that in this particular reading, when he was explaining about people plagiarizing and using certain names, things like that of his teachings, and if you listen to what he was saying, he was expressing a certain amount of anger, because what happens is, what people will do is, especially in different and same religions or different cultures and things like that, is once they feel as if they have enough in their mind or in their spirit or in their soul, they feel as if that I can go out and do the same thing. And when in reality, they can't do the same thing. And the question is why? Why can't they do the same thing as Panababianun? And the reason for that is because there's someone who guides his pen. He has beings, that was sent for him, to him, to help guide him, to help us. So because of that reason, that's the reason why, we can't do what he can. That's the reason why we have to get him free. Because without him, we don't even know where in Africa we would need to be to actually set up in the right area for the next Tamaray. We wouldn't even know what the proper way to get to Africa, because he told us different things to do, even to actually get to Africa. So we wouldn't even know the right moves to make, even with that process. So even just living our normal lives, we actually need that person, that being, that man, that God in our lives, only because he has to still guide us to a place where we need to be. So what happens is, what they'll do is they'll take certain teachings that they agree with and certain subjects they would agree with, and they'll actually use it in their own way and grab a certain amount of people who can agree with that or who vibrates with that. So what happens is when they're moving on their own mission, then that person could have, he could have helped you out. He could have helped you do certain things. But because he's not here anymore and he's on his own path, then what happens is he's now under the influence of other beings. How it explained in the reading that you can get possessed even if you lower your vibration level. So that's what happens with different people. They succumb to these vibrations or these lower forces, and they feel as if that they can do their own thing. How you look at all these people on YouTube, how they claim that they know this and they claim they know that, And the thing is, like I said, we have to realize that we need Panababianun. That's why we have to do our best to get him out. We need him, because without him, we would not even be sitting here. I wouldn't even be standing up here. That's the reality. And the reality of it is, the people who use this information, they wouldn't be using that information without him. And that's the point. But what they do is they'll say, well, I learned this and I learned that. Anybody can easily say they learned something for thousands of years. But show facts behind that. Show your degrees. Show all the times that you've been to Africa. Show the times that you actually went to certain places. Our master teacher, he has those certificates. He actually humbled himself, knowing that he didn't even need it. He humbled himself to go to these places and learn under these teachers. He has a passport, his diplomatic passport, and things like that. So these are the certain things that he has and that he's gained over the years of him teaching, only because he had to build a record to show people that I am who I say I am. And the reason why he had to do that is because there are other people who would say, well, no, he's not who we say he is. He's not the one writing those letters. He's not the one putting out this information. Don't believe him. Now believe me, because what I'm saying is true. Well, how is that? Show me facts. Show me that you can actually tell the future. Show me that you can predict something before it happens. Show me that you can actually answer every question that's been known to man. Show me that you can actually explain something to me from person, place, or thing. Outside of person, place, or thing. You can't do that. Nobody can do that other than Panababianun, other than the master teacher. So the point is, when you hear other people explaining to you these, they might sound deep because they're very verbal, They might explain things in certain ways. You're like, dang, that sounds pretty good. I kind of like that. But the reality of it is, it's not exactly what you need. So the point is that what I'm making, just when you listen into the middle part, into the reading, he's going in, he's explaining certain things, what happened. He's telling certain people, you don't want me to expose you. You don't want me to show exactly what you've been through, what you actually were doing. You try to put all those falsehoods on me to show me as the fall guy. Only reason why is because y'all wanted Panababianun to be the fall guy because you all knew exactly what you were doing and how wrong you were doing it. So that's what all the allegations made against him. That's how you get all the lies made against him and things like that, is because there's certain people who is mad at Panababianun, the master teacher. Because what did he say? He said, I'm not a religious man. I'm not a righteous man. I just came here to give the doctrine. I came to give you what I needed to give you. So that's the point. The point is that he came giving you what you want so you can learn to want what he came to give. So that's the whole thing. He gave us what he came to give, and people didn't want to accept that. And because they didn't want to accept that, then it led them astray. And they was like, well, I don't need that. I can do it myself. I can teach myself. This is easy. I'm feeling pretty good. But the reality of it is you can't do it. You can't do it the same way he does it. Because once again, for without him, where would you be? You would be nothing. And that's the reality. Any other questions? All right. If there are no other questions, because it is late, we'll close out this class today. Family, y'all have great travel. And there is food serving in the temple, in the bookstore. So if you want to go get something to eat, go ahead and get something. I do.